So, as we begin the story, I started out as a lot of people do, and maybe where you are right now, my story begins as a disgruntled architect in Boulder, Colorado. Maybe you aren't an architect, but maybe you feel trapped in a cubicle. You know, that was me nearly 30 years ago. I had a master's degree in architecture. I chose that career because I wanted to make beautiful things and travel the world. But almost immediately after entering the profession, I realized it wasn't going to be like that. And I should say, being an architect is a very respectable, admirable profession, but in reality, it's mostly budgets and schedules. I got into architecture because I saw myself as an artist. So after just 6 months, I knew this wasn't for me. I told my parents. They said, "Well, we put you through a bachelor's degree and a master's. Don't you think you could give it a little more time? 6 months isn't a lot." And they were right. I'm a reasonable person. 6 months is a short time. So I stayed. I stayed for almost 8 years. Let's just say at that point I was certain architecture was not for me. When I finally left, I regretted waiting so long. And there are moments in life that represent a point of no return. If you leave too early, you might doubt yourself. But if you stay too long, you pass that invisible line and then you never leave. You look back and think, I should have left when I had the chance. So 8 years, probably a hair too long, but looking back now, it was the right amount. Because when I left, I was sure it wasn't just the job, it was the lifestyle, cubicles, office politics, the whole professional architecture culture. None of it was for me, so I had to think, what else could I do to make money? By that point, my parents also agreed that I should move on. So I asked them, would they help me fund another degree? Because back then, that's what you did. You changed careers by going back to school. But this time, they said, we've had enough. You're an adult. You earn money. Fund it yourself. So, okay, fine. I wasn't going to pay my own money for another degree. Let's not be ridiculous. Instead, I thought, what can I do without spending money? I took a different angle. I asked myself, when was I last happy? And it hit me. It was during all those study abroad programs in graduate school. I took forever to finish school because I kept going abroad. I remembered I was really good at that. Could I get paid to do that? To explore the world, to draw, and learn languages? I looked into it. The internet existed back then, but barely. But I found something. You could get paid to teach English abroad. And the easiest country to start, Japan. Back then you could interview from your home country. Big companies were looking for native speakers in the US. If you got accepted, they'd arrange your housing, set up a bank account, and you'd be working 25 hours a week. I don't remember the pay, but it was enough to live comfortably in Japan and to visit other countries in Asia. So I applied and got accepted, and that was that. I didn't know anything about Japan. I didn't speak Japanese. I knew nothing about teaching, but I went because 25 hours a week. At the time, I was working 50 hours in architecture, and that was a good week. So even if I didn't love teaching English, I'd finally have time to breathe, to think, to figure out what came next. So I was off. I went to Japan, and that was the beginning of a 25-year adventure. I'll end the story here. Next time, I'll tell you what happened in Japan.